Student information in preparation for client interview at HealthSouth. This short video is designed to give you information that you can review prior to your scheduled visit to HealthSouth to be better prepared and have a more meaningful experience for this. The purpose of the interview is to have a conversation with an adult using therapeutic communication and assessment principles and collect pertinent data from the client's medical record. In this case, you will use your interview and client and database information as the basis for your client database 3 and concept map to help you better understand the nursing process. Details of the clinical site. This experience will take place at HealthSouth Rehabilitation Hospital, Austin. The address is 1215 Red River Street. You see the web link there, www.healthsouthaustin.com. I would encourage you to click on that link to access their site and review their services. Students can park for free in the HealthSouth Hospital garage. The entrance is on West 12th Street. It is marked with a small sign that says HealthSouth Parking. We would ask that you would park on the top level, which then will allow you to walk down 4 flights of stairs. Be prepared to give your car license number, tag number, to the hospital receptionist. In preparing for the actual interview day, bring a copy with you of your client database 1 and 2 that can be found in the CDB 1 and 2/taxes folder in the assignments link on Blackboard. It would be helpful also to bring several sheets of notebook paper or typing paper to take notes, and perhaps a clipboard or a thin notebook may also be helpful for taking notes. You can only make handwritten notes. You can only review the chart primarily for that specific client details that's identified in Client Database 2. That's in essence what the hospital has authorized us to be able to do. No electronic device of any kind can be used to record any aspect of the interview or chart information. On the day of the interview, please plan to meet in the hospital lobby at 1 o'clock sharp in appropriate attire. You must have your UT School of Nursing name badge with you. I have included some specifics of that appropriate attire. Business casual, that means street clothes, white lab coat, closed-toed shoes, please no high heels. The lab coat must be wrinkle-free, clean, white, 3/4 of full length, that doesn't matter. The hair must be neatly combed and kept above the collar. No artificial nails or nail polish, minimal jewelry, no large or dangling earrings, no visible body piercings other than an earlobe. Tattoos cannot be visible, and you must be cautious not to use perfume, cologne, or scented lotions or hairspray. That is basically the dress code for a non-clinical site where it's not in the acute care setting. I include this in specific detail because this is your first official clinical assignment, and I want you to make certain that you're aware of the dress code and the dress expectations. On the day or the day of the interview, several days before the interview, you will receive an email from Dr. Sterling through the HealthSouth group several days before this, asking you to self-select into a group of 2. So you will be working in a pair, a dyad. One person will complete the interview while the other student observes and completes the peer observer feedback report. You will then switch roles so that the second student completes the interview with another client and the first student then becomes the peer observer. When both interviews are completed, you will have the opportunity to go to a day room and review the client's chart for information that you need for Client Database 2. To prepare yourself for the interview, identify your interview questions by following the guidelines in Client Database 1. You will be given a brief report of details of your assigned patient to help you review and revise those questions as necessary. That report may be you'll be working with Mrs. Jones, an 85-year-old female admitted on June 26th for strengthening rehabilitation following right hip replacement after a fall. So you will have that information coupled with the questions that you were already planning to ask and may then revise your questions in planning the interview. The faculty will review your identified questions and also your plan for beginning the interview, introducing the questions of interest to you, and then completing or terminating the interview in a respectful, therapeutic manner. The plan is for students, for you to be able to complete the interview in the privacy and quietness of the client's room. Generally that happens. There are situations in which the client is in therapy and is in a large workout area kind of thing, and you will need to adapt and perhaps complete the interview in a less private area. I wanted you to be aware of that possibility. In preparation for the interview itself, you will be escorted to the unit and to the patient's room and introduced by name to the client by either Dr. Sterling or Dr. Taxis. But this will be a very, very, very brief introduction. The patient will know and will have given consent for this interview, so they will in essence be expecting you. It, however, will be your responsibility to initiate the therapeutic conversation and then complete the interview. That interview should last no longer than 25 minutes, and the observer serves as the timekeeper. But it will be necessary for both students to be sensitive to any signs of client fatigue or distress of any kind, and certainly if the client is called to therapy or a meeting or some other type of activity, then you will have the opportunity to go with that client to that therapy and complete the interview in that kind of environment. When the interviews are completed, both students will return to the day room and you will have an opportunity to begin the chart review. The faculty will locate the chart for your review and you will then have uninterrupted time to make notes of the information that you need. The chart review itself, please bring a copy of Client Database 2. Be familiar with the information that you will need. That will be the chart review material that you will need to record. On the Client Database 2, you will see in red some tab indicators. That refers to dividers or sections in the chart where that information can be found. Students, however, even though it's targeted information and you have specific directions that this can be found in this particular section of the chart, students still find that it takes about 1 to 1.5 hours to make note of that information that's required for the Client Database 2. part of that is because this information is maybe so very new to you. You may have not read this material before. It will be important for you to make these notes at that time. You cannot return to the facility to review the chart again. You will only need that specified information from Client Database 2. When you have that information and you've made the notes that you feel as though you need, you may leave for the day, but you must inform the faculty of when you are leaving. We will have a very small group, so either Dr. Taxis or I will be around all of the time, and you'll just simply need to let us know when you are leaving. In terms of submitting reports from the interview, refer to those details in the client database folder in the assignment links for the specifics. You will need to submit the client database 1 report, the peer observer feedback report, the one-page short reflection, the grading rubric. You will submit these documents to Dr. Taxis at a specific number of days after your scheduled interview. It is your responsibility to submit those reports by that due date. You save your notes from Client Database 2. Keep them secure. Do not lose them. I would encourage you to take some time to review them and perhaps get them in a little bit more legible shape, typed, or some other way, and save them, because that then will be the basis for your Client Database 3 that you will be working on in July and early August. Remember that the objective is to have a conversation with an adult using therapeutic communication and assessment principles to collect pertinent data from the client's medical record. But more than that, please know that seniors enjoy talking about themselves. They enjoy talking with young people, which is how they will see you. They are always very anxious to help nursing students. Allow them to tell you about themselves through very well-constructed, well-articulated questions. Have a sincere desire to know them as individuals, and then look forward to this, your very first client interview. If you have questions, please email me, bsterling@mail.nur.utexas.edu. I look forward to seeing you at HealthSouth in the next few weeks.